well, there are cops in the real world, but not that type of no, I forget the name of the agents. Right. So we might think again that it's going to be something subjective for each person. But again, if we take that position, just understand, right, the implications of that we're going to have to be okay with any life being meaningful, right, regardless of what someone chooses to do with it, right, regardless of whether or not that coincides with what you think makes your life. Okay, so next part is saying that yes, there is something that makes life meaningful, but it is external to ourselves, right? And so there's going to be two versions of this in general, right? One's going to be more theistic and one's going to be more humanistic, right? So there is something that makes life meaningful that doesn't have to do with each individual person. It's something outside of humanity that bestows meaning on our lives. And that's either going to be God, right? Or it's going to be something outside of that. And we're going to see something like moving towards progress, right? The evolution of the human species in terms of the humanistic version of that, right? So the idea is that there could be something that gives all of human life meaning, regardless of what any individual person chooses to do with it. And again, that's either going to be from progress or something related to God. But what's interesting about Augustine's view, which you're going to see for the theistic account, is that even though life's meaning comes from God, in order for your life to be meaningful, you still have obligations. And so you're going to see a really interesting metaphor that he's going to use with a plant, right? So the idea is that, it's not enough for a flower to just merely receive the nourishment from nature, is that you have to reflect those nutrients on other people. And so that's going to be the sort of proselytizing of Christianity in this particular case, right? But if the meaning of life comes from God, of course, you're going to want everybody to partake and have a meaningful life, right? So you have to spread the message of God, right? So some interesting views there. Okay, so we don't have a ton of time left, and I want to get to the other side. So any questions about the views that, yes, life does have some sort of meaning, either because of individual people or because of something outside of us? Okay, so the ones that are far more interesting, they are going to be reading next week, are the views that are going to say that life does not have meaning. But again, I cannot stress this enough. All of them are going to be arguing that life is worth living nonetheless, right? So life is still, or what they're going to say is that life can be made meaningful, even if it does not have meaning, right, in that subjective or objective way. Okay, so again, here we're going to be seeing people trying to account for where the absurdity of life comes from, right? Where does the lack of meaning come from? So again, here we're going to see the view that it could either come from individuals, and there again, we'll see a subjective, objective distinction, right? These typically are going to have to do either with the relationship, again, between what we should say is our awareness that we are so small, yet the feeling that our problems are so big. There's a sort of contradiction that comes there that's always going to make life absurd.